Hello everybody, my name is Elaine Paixão. I'm 24 years old and I've been living in Sydney, Australia for 2 years now. I live with my boyfriend Fabio, my brother Ellison and our friend Alan. And currently I'm studying business. I'll get my diploma end of July, and I'm also working in an Italian restaurant and I'm taking care of children in a child care as well. So this is not my first experience abroad. I lived in Canada before for 1 year and then I decided to move to Australia. So today is going to be about Australia. So now I'm going to talk about the aspects that most surprised me when I arrived in Australia. First of all, I'd say it was the security. People here are really free to go and come back anytime they want. They use their cell phones and their computers on the bus, on the parks, and they're not afraid that they're going to get robbed. So that's something that really shocked me. As a Brazilian, I'm not used to that. Everybody knows that in Brazil violence is a big issue right now, and that was something that really surprised me. The second thing I'd say would be the politeness of the people. People are really polite and nice. If you're walking on the streets, if anybody bumps into you, they always look back and they say sorry. They always say thank you, please. It doesn't matter who you are, they always treat you like that. They're always polite to everybody. Another thing I'd say, it's the organization of the Australian people. The streets are really clean, they're spotless. The events are really well organized. Anytime we have a wine event or a food festival, everything starts when they say it's going to start, everything ends when it says it's going to end. And 10 minutes after, everything is clean. We had the Mardi Gras, which is the gay parade in Oxford Street, and as soon as the parade finished, they had people already cleaning the street, and after 1 hour it was like nothing happened. Everything was really clean. So that's really nice. They're really organized. And the last thing I'd say is how Australian people are. I expected them to be a lot more, I'd say, not so friendly as they are, and they're really nice, easygoing. They drink a lot, and they're always welcoming people from all over the world in Australia. Now I'm gonna talk about the positive and negative points about living in Australia, and I'll start with the negative ones because they're easier. The first negative point is the fact that you're very far away from everybody you love. The distance is really, really big. So you miss your family, you miss your friends, you miss the food, you miss the parties. So that's really the most difficult point about living abroad. Another negative point is that once you get to a new place, like Australia, you have to start everything from scratch. You have to start everything all over again. You have to find a new job, you have to find an apartment, you have to meet new people, and sometimes that's a little bit hard in the beginning, but once you adapt, it becomes easier, it becomes normal. So yeah, these are the negative ones. Now, the first positive point I'd say is the fact that you really learn the language. Of course, you have to put some effort in it, but if you're really willing to improve your English, you really can do it, because English is around you all the time, and if you turn on the TV or if you have to buy bread or milk, you have to speak in English. So yeah, that's a really positive point in my opinion. The second positive point is that once you adapt, you can get to know new people, you meet new friends, and you can travel around. You get to know a new culture, which is really good. I think it's nice. And another positive point is that you become more independent as you fall away from your parents. So you have to do everything by yourself. And it's just amazing. Once you pass that part that I said about, you know, adapting and getting to, you have to find a new job and everything, you become independent, you know how to get by, and everything else is really easy. Everything else becomes easy. So yeah. And last but not least, you become a lot more flexible and you accept things easily, I think. As you have to live with people from all over the world, you have to accept their cultures and you have to understand that everybody has a way of thinking, but in the end we all live together and peacefully. So yeah, that's it. So my daily routine is pretty busy. I work in a childcare in the morning from Monday to Thursday, from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And I work in an Italian restaurant nighttime from Tuesday to Saturday, from 5 to 11 at night. And I study business, as I said before, and I study Friday and Saturday mornings from 7:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. So after all this, I just have Sunday off and Monday nights. So yeah, it's a pretty busy week. It's quite hectic, but I like it. It's alright. And when we have a day off on Sundays, we try to go to the parks, we try to go to the beaches. Not right now because it's a bit cold now, but summertime it's amazing and we can do a lot of activities here. Sydney is huge and beautiful, so it's worth it, it's nice. Now I'm gonna talk about the linguistic aspect in my daily routine. I speak English probably 15 hours a day, and it's pretty intense. In the morning I work with children, and at night I work in the restaurant, as I said. So I get a lot of vocabulary, and I really have to know how to express myself, especially in the restaurant because I'm taking orders. So I have to understand the customer and the customer has to understand me. And by the time I get home at night, I live with Brazilians, so we start speaking Portuguese. And when we realize we're speaking half of the sentence in English and half in Portuguese. So that's pretty common. For example, this week I asked my brother to go to the supermarket, and I was speaking Portuguese so you guys can understand. The conversation was like that. I said, Alisson, vai lá no supermercado que tá faltando umas coisas aqui em casa. Compra chicken, milk, ovos, lettuce, tomatoes e por aí vai. So he looked at me and he was like, okay, so I got it, but you don't have to say half and half. But I didn't really realize I was saying like that. It's just some words, they really become your vocabulary. It's not about choosing which language you're gonna speak. It's just some of them they're really stuck in your head after some time. So yeah, that happens a lot. Another thing that happens is all the words related to work, it's really hard to translate them. So when I'm talking to my mother on Skype, I start speaking in Portuguese, of course, but then I say some words in English and she doesn't get it. For example, a day off, it's a dia de folga. So I always say, oh, mãe, essa semana tá bem busy, mas eu vou ter um dia off. So yeah, it's a bit confusing, but it's pretty common. It's pretty common. Well, something else that is related to the linguistic aspect is that we import some English words. For example, if you want to go to a restaurant, you have to book a table. So this verb to book, when you're speaking to a friend in Portuguese, somebody who lives here, let's say, you say, for example, ok, tá tudo certo, eu já bookei a mesa. So you import that term. This is just an example. There are tons. There's a lot of other examples, like sponsor. Sponsor. When you get a sponsorship in Australia, it's like that person's gonna help you with the visa papers. So it's like a patrocínio or custeador, right? So a lot of people say in Portuguese, eu tô sendo sponsorado por aquela empresa. That happens a lot. The difference between the English that I learned back in Brazil and the English that I learned here, it's not too big. Because when I was in Brazil, I really wanted to learn English, and I tried to learn the real English. When I started studying, I was probably 15. I realized there was a lot of textbook, and I didn't want that. In my English course, I always try to watch different movies and to watch a lot of sitcoms. So this way I could really get an idea of what real English was. And now that I'm abroad, I can tell that that was really worth it. That was good for me, because when I got here, I didn't really have that much difficulty on understanding people and getting understood. So, but I think there are a lot of teachers that they're really focused on the textbook, which is not good, because then you realize you're just learning how to write and read. When you really have to communicate in English, you're gonna really have a hard time, because people don't speak so slowly as you think they do. They speak in a normal rhythm, and they speak in a really casual way. They speak with slang. So yeah, it's a bit hard in the beginning, but then you get used to it. It's not hard at all. But, well, something that I'd have to say is, if you really want to learn the real English, watch a lot of sitcoms, a lot of Friends, a lot of, all these sitcoms nowadays, they're really good. Then you're gonna realize that people don't have just one way of saying things. They don't just say, hi, how are you? They say, hi, how's it going? What's up? How have you been? What's new? What's going on? So you're not gonna be surprised, you're gonna be just relaxed, and you're gonna be able to talk to people. So guys, this is it. That's the end of this movie. I hope you've liked it. And if I could say anything to anybody who wants to travel, I'd say really you have to focus on your dream. You have to determine what you want, what you don't want. Once you determine what you want to do, then just do everything you can to make that happen. You have to make that come true, because if I can, you can as well. So just do everything you can to achieve that, and then you're gonna see that's totally worth it. In my case, I'm really happy in this lovely place, and I improved my English. I met a lot of nice people, and now I feel really confident, and I'm missing a lot my country, so I want to go back. I'll be back in August, and I hope to see you guys there. So as they say here, cheers mate, see you then. Cheers guys, thanks.